Welcome on into a live edition of the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, running through all of the latest on the Browns regarding free agency and the draft. Also, it's just been a very busy NFL day, and I love my job for a lot of reasons, but one of the lower key reasons is it's fun to connect the dots a little bit to go, wow, something happened with Maxx Crosby and the Raiders. How does that impact the Browns? And sometimes it doesn't, but a lot of times it does. And that's what I want to share with you guys to open up today's live show. But as always, I do want to give the latecomers an opportunity to get into the stream and click on the notification and find their seats. So shout out your city for me down below in the chat while the latecomers, you can boo them as they come in, by the way, are getting here. Let me know where you are tuning in from. We already have a $50 super chat waiting for us from James Harper. And James, bless your soul, because you didn't even realize when you sent this super chat in that we actually are going to do a giveaway today, and you are now in that giveaway. Can we give James 5 spots in that giveaway for a $50 super chat? And I'll explain what the giveaway is in a moment, but first things first, good evening, everyone. I'm at work, so I'm just going to sneak the super chat in here. Hope everyone is doing well. Heartbroken over Chubb now, but I think we all saw it coming. Have a great show, everyone. James, thank you so much. Tell your boss from me to go fuck himself because he's keeping you away from your favorite YouTube show. But appreciate you, as always, for tuning in and supporting the show no matter what. And James, I hope you watch this after work, or maybe you're sneaking it in right now, because I was in Indianapolis for the NFL Combine last week. It's chaotic day one. Tuesday, all the GMs and coaches, for the most part, speak, and the media floor is covered. Saturday, it's offensive linemen, and it's a ghost town. It looks like a scene from like a Wild West movie with the tumbleweeds blowing apart. There's about, I would estimate, 50 to 60 tables in the media area. They were probably about 10 left in terms of people that stuck it out for the entire week. Chat Sports is one of the 10. So as a result, I thought it could be fun to go over to the Cleveland Browns table at, not quite Radio Row, I guess Radio Row, but go over to the Browns table and take the table marker that the NFL put out for the Browns. They put one out for all teams and all, media publications that showed up. But as the lady went around and started collecting them, I asked her, would it be all right if I took the Browns one? She's like, yeah, I'm just going to throw it away. And I was like, cool, because I think there might be someone watching this show who could appreciate the Browns NFL Combine table marker. So here's what I want to do. I took two because they kind of put them back to back like this. And I want to do a duck race at the end of our live show. Now, if you super chat, you're going to be automatically included in that duck race. If you cannot super chat, that's not a problem. Get in the chat. I'm just going to pick names at random throughout the chat. For example, I'm picking Ty Man the Buckeye, obviously. There has never been a bigger lock than Ty Man's going to get a free entry for this thing here. So, I want to add Kathy Sidlecki. I would like to add Kimberly Hurst. I want to try and reward the frequent flyers of the channel. Jonathan Mann is always here as well. I'm throwing a lot of names at you right now, so thank you for keeping up, Reed. And Matthew Culpa, another guy who I commonly see in the chat. I'll add more throughout the show, but just some incentive to be active in the chat. And you could be coming home with the Browns table marker from the 2025 NFL Scouting Combine. All right. Pardon? After Kathy Sidlecki and Kimberly Hurst, we then went to Jonathan Mann. And after Jonathan, it's Matthew Culpa, Kulpa, tuning in from Greenville, South Carolina. 100 people tuned in right now. We got 16 likes. Let's boost those numbers up. Hit that thumbs up button down below if you have not already. All right. We have a lot I can't talk right now. We have a lot to discuss on today's show. One of those topics is DK Metcalf. Surface level, I don't think your average NFL pundit would think of the Browns as a destination for DK Metcalf as he looks to go play for a contender. But we have seen Andrew Berry be very aggressive in the wide receiver trade market. And I'll expand on this more when we get to that part of the video. But right now, just give me your thoughts on DK. If it cost a third-round pick, would you take the Bills' third-round draft pick that you got for Amari Cooper and send it to Seattle for DK Metcalf? If that was the price, would you do that right now? Oh, my God. Dolphin X with a $50 super chat. We'll throw it on screen. Cole Miller says yes. Rock says yes. Time Man the Buckeye saying yes. Dolphin. Joel is staying. We were going to get to that Dolphin, but I love the eagerness. Hopefully this is the first one with a long list of good news. I'm hoping for the Chubb and Garrett news. Yeah, the Browns needed some good news. They needed to get some brownie points, no pun intended, with the fan base. And Bitonio deciding to stay, that's at least what the reports are right now, so I'll run with it, is a nice sigh of relief for Cleveland. Now, I think there might be a bit of a catch to this, and that's what I'm going to share when we get to that part of the video later on. But Dolphin, I agree. It is nice to have some piece of good news because it's been nothing but crappy news the last month and change. Really, it's kind of like Michael Scott. It's been a tough month. It's been a tough year altogether. It's been a tough since week 1. I don't think there's been a single good Sunday since single good week. The win over Jacksonville in week 2 was nice, but also wow, they looked bad in that game. I think the only good day was the win against Pittsburgh.
That Cowboys game, that one
That was deflating. And here's why it was deflating, too. You want to know why? I think that not too long ago, everyone would have picked the Cowboys to win that game. And it felt like, not because the Browns were bad a few years ago, but because the Browns had started to really earn some respect about, hey, just because we used to be bad for a long time, that doesn't mean we have to be looked at as a team that always has to prove we're good. Whereas there are lots of teams that before they get to the season are anointed as probably going to be very good. And you think a team coming off a playoff appearance like Cleveland would have been looked at as that way. But the Browns were picked by a lot of people to win. And that was whoa, things are changing. People are picking the Browns to beat the Cowboys? And then they got their butts kicked. James Harper with another super chat. But Dolphin, you have been added 5 times to the Cleveland Browns table marker from the NFL Combine. So we're going to raffle off both these bad boys, and then I'll mail them to the winners. So thank you for your super chat and your support of the channel. Let's go Brownies. James, I'm here. Like, sub, and share. The share I feel like is new. Doesn't he always just do like, comment, and sub? But James, you are the YouTube analytics god of the Cleveland Browns report. So praise to you, and thank you for always supporting us, going above and beyond in ways I can't even begin to describe, and my appreciation. Okay, AFX with a $2 super chat. We can't even get this plane off the ground. This is going to turn into an episode of Air Disasters. We got Cole Miller in the chat, Kimberly Hurst. Like I said, if you super chat, you'll automatically be added to our Browns table marker giveaway from Radio Row at the Combine. If you're unable to super chat, that's okay. Just be active in the chat. If I see your name a handful of times, I'm just going to toss you in there. I won't have an exact science behind it, but I just want to be in the giving mood. Yeah, and Reed can pick people. Ghostface, I want to add Ghostface. Ghostface is always here. Just Chill, appreciate you for watching right now. I promise we're going to get into all the meat and potatoes of today's show. I would love to have meat and potatoes. I know. I will say, though, it's been full wedding diet season, as you've heard me complain about for like a month now. Today felt like a real first day of noticing something because I feel like a 90s rapper. My pants are falling. I'm constantly having to pick them up a little bit. So that's a good sign right there. The belt is coming back into style with me. George with a $5 pound super chat. We've got Germany in the house, AFX, James Harper with another super chat. I think he's quoting me right now. I do have my crutches, and that's definitely one of them. AFX, hope you're having a good one, buddy. Thank you for tuning in.
You know what one of them is?
I
Let's
think
go.
I know. Yeah, that's one of them, yeah. I was like, I'm sure you have a lot, so I'm curious which one you're going to pick. Okay. George, let's throw your super on screen. As a Browns fan from the UK, I can't wait to see us in London. No to DK without a solid QB. That makes sense, George. No need to add another diva to the locker room. Go Browns. Yeah. George, I don't think it's hard to disagree with this right here. A lot of great points tuning in from the pond or across the pond. So, George, thank you so much for your super chat and cheers to you. Hope you're having a good one at the pub. Some more super chats are flying in. Let's hit these super chats, and then I want to discuss the possibility of trading for DK Metcalf. 121 people tuned in right now, though. 35 likes. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button as you file on in. Ryan Sullivan saying, my concern now is that when the center hikes the ball, there won't be someone there to take the snap. May I interest you in the wild card? The Wildcat offense? Wildcat offense? That could work. Kendall Hinton for the Broncos. Remember that game during 2020? All-time trivia right there. Although technically Phillip Lindsay took the first snap, so he was the quarterback. Jonathan Mann, go Browns. Jonathan, thank you for tuning in. Go Brownies to you, man. And, oh, you must get that a lot. Man. Yeah, that's got to be something you've heard before. But you're entered into the Browns. I got two of them. Table marker from the Combine raffle. And AFX, no belly shot. I'm starting to feel like AFX has, you know that scene from Always Sunny when Charlie's got all the stuff on the wall and he's connecting the ribbon? Yeah, I think AFX has that for all the chat sports channels and all of my, I don't think famous is an appropriate word, but notable lines. But no belly shot. Now, we do have a mailbag coming up in about an hour or so, so get those questions in early and often. Use hashtag Browns, or like you've seen, if you super chat, we throw it on automatically for everyone watching to see. Yeah, and by the way, it doesn't necessarily have to be like your traditional question. If you have an idea, hey, I think the Browns should do this, that's also going to play. You just got to use hashtag Browns somewhere in your message in the chat so our software can find it, pull it, throw it on screen. Are we ready to jump into our live show today? I want to run through some of the news and rumors surrounding the NFL and the Cleveland Browns. Then I want to do a deep dive on some of the big draft rumors coming out of Indianapolis and the Combine before it kind of gets a little bit too distant from Indy where it still feels relevant. And then finally, a mailbag, like I was saying, you know the drill, hashtag Browns or Super Chat. All right, are we ready to rumble? Let's do this thing. Let's pick one person out of the chat, though, for another free entry. Joshua Miller just got added with a $5 super chat. I'm going to add the next person that adds a question. Laser Beam, you're in. Laser Beam is in. Cole, I like the question, but you got to throw hashtag Browns in there. So that way I can throw it on screen and discuss it with everyone. Oh, AFX, that's too kind. Wants Tie Man to get it. I'm also kind of secretly pulling for Tie Man. But I love you all. All right. I know. It does feel like a bit of a game day right now, doesn't it? We're missing Jeremy Stallman if it's a game day. Jeremy Stallman, the NFL Insider. I wish Jeremy was here right now. Josh, what really surprised you about going to the Combine, and what disappointed you about it, if anything? You know, Josh, that's an excellent question. Let me answer it in the mailbag because I don't want to kind of give half an answer now and the second half later. And I also kind of want to think about this because I want to give you a good response. I got to blow my nose. Oh, sorry about that. I had to sneeze. One more time. Reed, give shout-outs.
Hey, we got AFX, Time Man, AFX, Time Man. We got George Bobo Beast.
Okay.
Do you really think DK wants to go to the Browns?
No. No, he doesn't.
I don't think so.
Well, that's not how trades work.
Can I give a?
Did OBJ want to go to the Browns?
No, he did not.
I don't think he did. I don't remember that. I don't think he did.
I'm gonna give my prediction right now.
Yeah.
DK, you are a Los Angeles Charger.
I went Packer initially, but I think the Patriots might come out victorious. Which has to be, from a mile standpoint, one of the longest trades. Seattle to Foxborough. I think the actual longest is Miami to Seattle, but I just off the top of my head. Oh, audio okay? Off the top of my head, I can't think of a Dolphins Seahawks trade. That'd be good trivia. The 5 longest trades, the most recent 5 longest trades. Tyreek, no. I'm thinking Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins. That's Denver to Miami. This is. You have a winner? Trade. It has to be a trade. No, I don't think that'd be even long enough. Sony Michel was traded from New England to LA. That's got to be the winner. Patriots to Rams. Right? I'm thinking that. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk all about some of the news and rumors out there. Is the audio good on your end? Because I just heard some crackling in my headset. Okay, I just don't want to give you guys a bad video. Yeah. AFX really wants Jerome Baker. All right, here we go. Are we ready on your end, Mr. Reed? Okay, 50 likes, so thank you to everyone who hit that thumbs up button. I wish there was a way that YouTube could tell me who likes the video so I can give you guys proper shout-outs. But I'm ready when everyone else is ready. That's fine. Here we go. It's been a busy day in the NFL world so far. We've already had a handful of moves, and by the time you're watching this, I would not be surprised if some more moves are added to this run of news. So I want to talk about a lot of this because I do think some of these moves and news items here have some implications for the Cleveland Browns, and that's what I really want to divulge and dive into. Now, before we get any further, though, make sure to subscribe to the channel because NFL free agency unofficially, legal tampering begins March 10th. That is Monday, and then the new league year begins on Wednesday. Reed and myself are going to work on Sunday and just do the full week, Sunday to Sunday, because I don't want you guys to miss out on anything whatsoever. So if you're looking for a Browns YouTube channel with that type of dedication, scroll on down and click that sub button. Now, one piece of news that I could see catching the Browns' attention is DK Metcalf requesting a trade. Surface level, I don't think the Browns would jump out as a candidate to trade for DK. But I think we can all agree that we probably learned our lesson from Brandon Ayuk that the Browns are always going to have interest in young, talented wide receivers. It's how they built their entire wide receiver room. And DK Metcalf fits that bill. We all agree that he is a good wide receiver. I think the word good as an adjective to describe DK is probably his floor. He's never gone below 900 yards in a season. He comes off a 992-yard campaign off 66 grabs with 5 touchdowns. Now, the reason why he's looking to get dealt is, I think, a mixture of contract reasons and also a little bit of his role in the Seahawks offense with Ohio State legend Jackson Smith and Jigba become a bigger focal point in their passing game. So those two things put together, and it results in DK wanting a new home. So that's how I think we got to where we are right now. But like I was saying, Browns have built their entire wide receiver room in trades. Started off with Amari Cooper, then Elijah Moore, then Jerry Jeudy, and nearly Brandon Ayuk, as we learned right before the start of the season. The Browns are trying to trade Amari Cooper for Brandon Ayuk. So, while sure, the Browns may not scream DK Metcalf destination, but just do your homework. Look at a little bit of history here with me. They nearly got 4 wide receivers in trades. They got 3, nearly 4. So, I've learned my lesson by now because I did not spend a lot of time talking about Ayuk to Cleveland because it just didn't make a lot of sense. And DK Metcalf may not make a lot of sense for the Cleveland Browns. But he is a young, talented receiver, And that's the MO. Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore, Brandon Ayuk. Those were 3 guys that were taken in the first or second round of the draft who were all in their mid-20s. And the Browns viewed as franchise, maybe not changing, but like material wide receivers, guys that are worth a big investment into, whether it's trade compensation or a brand new contract, like with Jeudy before he even played a snap for the team. So I'll add that along with Andrew Berry could have some desperation creep in and look to make a big splash, sexy move to maybe persuade Myles Garrett to change his mind about wanting a trade. Maybe Myles Garrett looks at this roster way differently if it's got DK Metcalf on offense and insert quarterback who Myles thinks is going to be a game changer for them. So I would not rule out Andrew Berry under the circumstances of Garrett unhappy and wanting a trade, outkicking his coverage a little bit and going, we got to make some big splashy moves to make Garrett feel comfortable and make him believe that he can win here. Otherwise, we're headed towards a holdout with no end in sight. So here's my proposition for a trade in terms of like a fair trade value. Seattle is not getting a first. They're not getting a second. I think a third-round pick could get it done. I'm modeling this off of what Stephon Diggs went for when he went to Texans from Bills. That was a second-round draft pick. I think we can all agree at that point Diggs was a little bit better he was a little bit better than DK is right now in the wide receiver pool. So a third-round pick to me, that seems fair. So this is just a rough idea as to what a trade could look like. Now, the Browns' wide receiver room as a whole right now isn't a good-ish spot. Like Jerry Jeudy was 5th in receiving yards last year, first 1,000-yard campaign. Cedric Tillman looked really good for a few weeks up until a concussion cut his 2024 season short. Elijah Moore is a free agent, and he was disappointing in some ways, and I don't expect him to come back, but maybe if they can agree on a cheap 1-year contract, he'll stay in Cleveland. But I expect Moore to maybe want to go somewhere else given the 3-win season the Browns had this past year. So this would usually scream Andrew Berry, right? And the only reason why it doesn't make sense right now is a timing perspective. Why would you trade for a wide receiver when you don't even know who the quarterback is? You're a 3-win team. Should you really be making these big, high-profile moves? Or maybe taking your medicine and building through the draft in cheaper ways like that? All those are good points that I do not disagree with. But here's the X factor. It's Andrew Berry. He has built this entire receiver room through trades. He likes going after younger, talented players who were highly drafted, first and second round guys. And while we may look at the Browns as a rebuild team, I don't think Andrew Berry does. I think Andrew Berry looks at that 3-win season as an anomaly, as a result of very poor quarterback play. And they have, in their eyes, the way to fix that this offseason, and they replace Watson, they replace Winston and DTR with maybe Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders. The Browns are confident in both those quarterbacks. At least that's what the rumors are from Indianapolis or some veteran free agent. And they go, let's add DK and we are ready to roll and we are right back in the playoffs. I don't agree with that line of thinking, to be honest with you, but I think Andrew Berry does. I think Andrew Berry does not view this team as a 3-win team. I don't think he thinks they're that bad. I think he believes they are much better than maybe you and I actually think they are after last season. So let me know if you would trade for DK. Would you give up, say, the Bills' 3rd-round pick? You still have a 1st-round pick, a 2nd-round pick, and another 3rd-round pick. Hard to be like, no, knowing how good DK is and how you have an extra 3rd-round pick to begin with, but I guess I am going to say probably not, because I don't think the time is right to make a trade for DK, give him a brand new contract, when maybe it's best to hold on to that 3rd-round pick, go with the younger, cheaper option, and embrace how a rebuild is supposed to go. Because most rebuilds don't start by building out your wide receiver room. You've got a good receiver in Jeudy. Let's start attacking different cornerstone pieces. Now, some other news that happened. Maxx Crosby got a contract extension. This is a big reason why I love my job, because most people would look at this and go, oh, cool, moving on. No. I challenge you guys to try and look at everything through the lens of how could this trickle down and have a domino effect to the Cleveland Browns. And I don't think it's very difficult here. Myles Garrett is probably going to see this, and go, you know what? Well, my price just went up because I want to be the highest paid defensive end of football. In fact, it might be in my best interest to wait and let everyone else get paid. And now I can come in and go, I'd like to be at the very, very top. So Micah, Trey Hendrickson, Aiden Hutchinson is eligible for an extension. TJ Watt is looking for an extension. After Crosby's deal, there is no rush for Garrett. Not that he even has any interest in signing an extension with the Browns, since, according to Mary Kay, Garrett's camp has slammed the door shut on an extension. But if an extension does end up happening, by the grace of gods, I think Garrett is going to wait for everyone else to get paid so he can then become the highest paid edge rusher and not get paid and then two other guys quickly get paid afterwards and he's no longer number one. This is my guess. If an extension were to happen, I think it's a 4-year, $160 million deal. That's an average of $40 million a season. I put $100 million guaranteed. It's probably going to be higher than that. Probably about 130-ish. You basically guarantee the first 3 seasons and then like half of the 4th season. So it could be a 3-year contract with less money, but I still think it's going to be $40 million a season, topping Crosby's 35.5 and every other pass rusher that's going to be paid soon. So now the question I have for you is, will this eventually get done? Stemming from the Combine, the overarching takeaway was the Browns are not going to trade Myles Garrett. And a handful of good Browns beat reporters believe this will end with an extension. But Garrett's going to have to walk a lot of things back because he said he doesn't want an extension, he wants to get traded, and he doesn't believe the Browns are capable of winning. And that's a tough thing to take all back and put in your mouth and then walk into the locker room like none of that ever happened and you believe this is a group of guys that can go out there and win. Before we sign off, a couple of quick things here and then one more piece of news I meant to bring up earlier. So this Browns hat is on sale. It's less than $10. So if you're looking to add some more Browns gear right now, which I know the team isn't super popular, but hey, 70% off, that's a bargain. So go to chatsports.com/CLE hat. I put this link in the comments and description of today's video. So get a brand new Cleveland Browns hat, 70% off when you use our link, chatsports.com/CLE hat. Let's talk about some other news, and that is Joel Bitonio, not allegedly, but reportedly playing in 2025. It looks like that's the news coming from Mary Kay. This is a little bit of a fluid situation as I'm filming this during our live show Wednesday afternoon, but all signs right now are pointing to Bitonio coming back for season number 10. Yeah, drafted in 2014. So coming back season number 11 or 12. Oh, 12th season's right there on screen for me. So I'll just say it right now. Bitonio is coming back for 2025, which is great to see, and I'm very happy because with Garrett potentially going out the door and Chubb leaving in free agency, it's nice to have a familiar face still on this roster. Now, having said this, I do believe there could be a trickle-down effect once more. Wyatt Teller. I don't think the Browns are going to keep Bitonio and Teller. At least not at their current price. Possible that one of these guys agrees to a pay cut, but I don't know which one it would be. Bitonio's probably not thinking, I'll come back, even though I was on the fence about it, and I'll do it for less money. And Teller's thinking, I just played a great season when I came back from my knee injury. Why would I agree to a pay cut? This is probably my last big contract. So I'm struggling to grasp how the Browns keep both Bitonio and Teller. If Bitonio returns, which it looks like that's the case, I'm thinking Teller could get traded. We've already seen 2 guards get traded this offseason. There appears to be a market for the offensive guard position. And then the Browns promote Zach Zinter and make him your much cheaper starting right guard. All right, that's going to do it for us on today's show. Let's pick a card to wrap up today's episode. Some nice good news right there to end it all. Reed, which card do you want to go with?
I'm not going to go with that. I'm going to go with 9 of Hearts.
9 of Hearts? I'm going to go with Queen of Diamonds. I'm feeling good, too. I like this. Okay, I'm going to go Queen of... What did I say? Queen of Hearts? It is a heart. It's King of Hearts. What was the next one? King of Spades. Damn it. No one got it in the live chat. That will do it for us on today's show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see everyone tomorrow. Damn. I felt good, too. We do have a mailbag in a little bit, so one more reminder. Get your questions in. Use hashtag Browns or Super Chat. Let's pick someone out of the chat for another free entry for the raffle we're going to do at the end of the show. I took these from the Browns table at the Radio Row of NFL Combine, and it's just the Browns table marker. I got 2 of them. I just thought it'd be a fun thing for someone to add to their, I don't know, man cave, wherever they watch Browns games, your desk, whatever it could be. So if you want to be added to it, Super Chat, we guarantee you get added to the raffle. Otherwise, I'm picking names out of the chat. I'm going to pick, let's go with, I want to pick someone who's kind of been active in the chat to reward them. Let's go with Noah W. Noah Wolney. Yeah. Let's get Noah in there. Now, we do have more rumors to get to. Usually, we call this part the segment. A little bit of jargon for you guys in terms of how things work here at Chat Sports. But I wanted to do a double news and rumors type live show because there are some really good draft rumors out there revolving around the Browns and Shedeur Sanders that I want to share. So I'm ready to jump into the next segment when you guys are. I love it. Okay. We ready to rock and roll? All right, here we go. Segment number 2 coming up right now. Let's talk about some of the draft rumors out there stemming from the NFL Combine, primarily centered around Shedeur Sanders, because his name has popped up a ton when talking about the Browns and the number 2 draft pick. So I want to spend some time reacting to some of the rumors that were posted and give you my thoughts in terms of how realistic and credible some of these things are here. But Shedeur has really pulled away as one of the favorites for the Browns with the number 2 draft pick. Now, it is smokescreen season, so I don't think it's appropriate to say take everything with a grain of salt. It's a few notches above a grain of salt because when you're picking number 2, it's a lot easier for the NFL draft gurus and insiders to have an idea of what you're doing because all they got to figure out is what one team above you is doing. Whereas when you're picking 10, 11, 12, they got to figure out what 9, 10 teams in front of you are doing to figure out what you could be doing. But there were a handful of draft rumors that came out of the Combine. The Combine, which I went to, is an awesome place to network, and it's filled with coaches, GMs, and agents hanging out at bars until 3 a.m. We went to Prime 47 a steakhouse our last night there. We got kind of a later reservation, and we were one of the last tables to finish eating because once we finished, they folded up all the tables, and it just turned into an absolute club filled with coaches and GMs. I had to walk past Mike McDonald and Joe Shane just to get out to the front door. So the first draft rumor that came out, though, and I want to go in a little bit of a specific order, is Cam Ward is quarterback 1, and it's not even that close with Shedeur. People are not debating if it's Ward or Sanders for QB1. No, the debate has actually turned to Cam Ward number 1, and is Jackson Dart quarterback 2, and is he overtaking Shedeur? Here's what Matthew Berry, the old fantasy football guru, had to say in his 25 rumors from the NFL Combine. A few folks said to me it was a much closer discussion about Shedeur Sanders versus Jackson Dart than Sanders versus Ward. So the consensus from most people, let's say 90% of people from the combine that I spoke with and just kind of interacted with and heard, was Cam Ward is quarterback one, and there's a big drop-off after that. And I'm going to echo what Barry said right there. So that leaves us with these three quarterbacks to really keep an eye on when it comes to who could be a round one quarterback the Cleveland Browns go after. Ward, Sanders, and Jackson Dart. And I don't want to spend too much time today breaking down Cam Ward or Jackson Dart's film because all eyes are on the first two names right there. I think Ward, by the way, is just going to go first overall. I don't know to who yet, though. It does not appear like the Titans are going to go take a quarterback, which I don't think is a bad idea because personally, I don't think it's that great of a quarterback class. I don't view any of these quarterbacks as guys who could be a future MVP contender, and that's usually what you're hoping for when you take a quarterback first overall. But Cam Ward, I think, is going to go number one, and it may not be to Tennessee. It could be to the New York Giants. They could be looking to move up in the draft and get their quarterback of the future, or at least get the quarterback that could keep Joe Shane and Brian Dable employed for another season in the Meadowlands. Now, more rumors to get to and how the Browns are implicated in all these rumors. But first things first, I was looking over the YouTube analytics so far, and I want to do a quick race with our Bengals breakdown channel here at Chat Sports to the next milestone. So for us, that's 43,000 subscribers. For them, that is 18,000 subscribers. They got a slight lead on us, but I got faith in the dog pound for erasing that lead. Scroll on down, click that sub button if you are a fan of the real team from Ohio. Now, the second draft rumor is the Browns are going to stay put at number 2 and just take a quarterback. They're not interested in giving up picks to move up to the number 1 spot. They're not interested in trading back. They like Cam Ward. They like Shedeur Sanders, and they are content to just stay put and take whichever quarterback falls to them at the number 2 spot, which most likely would be Shedeur Sanders. I would be blown away. You know what? I'll say this. If Shedeur goes first overall, I might bring up the Lake Erie polar plunge bet. That's how confident I am that Shedeur is not going first overall. And it's really about the Browns are comfortable with staying put at number 2 and taking Sanders. Here's what Dan Graziano from ESPN said. The overwhelming belief of the people I spoke to this week is that the Browns' plan is to stay put at number 2 in the draft and take one of the top quarterbacks. Their preference between Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders is unclear, but if one goes at number 1, I believe they'd be okay with taking the other. I don't agree/believe this. I don't agree with the thinking of the Browns should be content to stay put at number 2 and just take which quarterback falls to them. It's not going to be a mystery. It will be Shedeur Sanders. There is no chatter of Sanders going first overall. There's more chatter about Sanders going in round 2 than going in number 1. So the question really is, are you comfortable with taking Shedeur at the number 2 spot? I don't agree with the idea of the Browns should just sit back and wait and see who falls to them. If you want Cam Ward, go out and get him. If you believe, I don't, but if the franchise and the decision makers believe that is a franchise quarterback, that's an X factor, that's a difference maker, then go make a move up to number 1 if that pick is available. Who gives a crap about a future second or third round pick? If that's what it costs to secure, in your eyes, the franchise quarterback, then make the move. We're not talking about giving up multiple firsts. When the Bears moved up from 3 to 2 to get Mitch Trubisky, they gave up a third-round draft pick. I think it was third. It was no earlier than a second. Sure, it was not a good move because Mitch didn't turn out to be a good quarterback. But I don't disagree with the line of thinking of, yeah, if you're absolute about this guy being your guy, then it's worth giving up a day 2 pick to make sure he's on your roster and not play tummy sticks and see, ooh, but he could fall to us. What happens if the Giants jump up and now that you're not getting your guy? So I don't agree with this idea of the Browns should just sit back and take whichever quarterback falls to them. No, go get your guy. But none of these guys are my guys, so I wouldn't, but I still would encourage the Browns to, have a spine and go get the quarterback they believe is the difference maker for them. I also don't believe this. and this is just me giving my 2 cents here. I've got a tough time believing the Browns went to Indianapolis, and as a franchise that never likes talking to the media, how many times do we hear Andrew Berry say, you know, guys, I really don't think that's appropriate to discuss right now. I'm not comfortable with sharing that with you guys. How many times does Kevin Stefanski say the bare minimum and just run off the podium? I'm supposed to believe these two guys sat down, got blitzed and hammered, and was like, we're going to tell Dan Graziano and Matthew Berry everything. Doesn't seem like them, does it? I'm trying to think of the angle that they can use to have them have this benefit them by people knowing their plan. But no, something's just not passing the smell test for me. Knowing how the Browns operate, have they ever really revealed much? We didn't even know they were after Brandon Ayuk until the last moment. And that was going on for a long time. I'm not really buying it. But maybe it's a Jimmy Haslam thing. Maybe it's Haslam saying, we're getting a new stadium soon. We need season ticket holders. I need butts in seats to pay for this. So go get a quarterback and make it work. Even if you don't think he is a second overall pick worthy guy, I don't care. I'm hiring you guys to make this work. Now, if the Browns do prefer Cam Ward over Shedeur Sanders, I think they should trade up to number 1. I think they should have that line of thinking. I don't think Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders is worth trading up for. But if they do believe it, don't half-ass it. Don't sit back and go, well, we'll just take whoever falls to us. No. Be aggressive. Go get your guy of the future if you think he is your future quarterback. The third rumor. Shedeur Sanders kind of bombed at the combine. This is a sensitive topic because some analysts are going to be very quick and already have been to rush in and defend Shedeur Sanders, and this becomes a bit of a polarizing conversation because he showed up to his press conference with a, sideways hat and didn't look the most professional, didn't look the most job interview-esque. And some people have looked at that as a thing to point at and not quite make fun of, but to poke holes in and use as evidence and reasoning as to why they don't like that quarterback. I think there should be some level of, hey, this is a job interview, so look your best. But also, this is a new era of college football players going into the draft where these guys aren't poor. These guys have a lot of money from NIL. So they're not going to act like they are hungry and need a job so badly and put their best foot forward, which I still think they should. No, they've made a lot of money already, so they're going to kind of act like they've made some money already. Now, this is what Matthew Berry wrote, and I think it's really important to listen and read. I spoke with 2 people on 2 different teams that met with Sanders, and completely independently of each other, they had the exact same things to say. They both said it was a bad meeting and that he came off as unprofessional and disinterested. Both also said that after the meeting, they had a lesser opinion of him than prior. Shedeur is a unique prospect because he is one of the more notable NIL-type prospects where he comes in being Deion Sanders' son to begin with, and he's not poor. I don't know how else to describe it, right? He's made a lot of money already. So he kind of has some confidence already and isn't approaching these meetings as I'm trying to find some line of work because I have no money in my bank account right now. The NIL is going to change how the way players behave at the combine, and it's going to have to change the way teams look at players at the combine. But I still am a little hesitant to fully believe what Berry is saying. Not believe. I don't think he's making that up. But I do think it's worth noting that those 2 independently different coaches and sources maybe are like the Jets and the Raiders, who want to give the Browns chills about taking Sanders and spook them so that Shedeur could fall to them. That's a very real possibility. Now, if you've noticed, I've referenced Matthew Berry a couple of times in this video. He puts out a great article with all the rumors and all the stories from the combine. I really recommend you go read it. And while I am putting a lot of my faith in him because I'm using him as a quality source here, I think it's important to look back at what he said last year at the Combine. Does this guy know what he's even talking about? Last year, he said Stephon Diggs is going to leave Buffalo. Check. He said Saquon Barkley is going to leave New York and Daniel Jones will stay. Check. He said Baker Mayfield will re-sign with Tampa. Check. He said the Cardinals, at number 4, are going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. Check. He said T. Higgins will not be traded. Check. Now, he did not go 25 for 25, but I just want to show this to you guys so you can have a little bit of credibility with Barry. The fourth and final draft rumor is the Browns like Sanders and Ward almost equally. And we touched on this during the second rumor, but I want to really dive into it because I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't fully believe that, nor do I think that's a good thing to have in mind here because Barry once again says, the one team I heard that did like Sanders was Cleveland. They liked Ward as well, but they would be good with either. So despite the Browns being the current DraftKings betting favorite to draft Travis Hunter, everything I heard was that Cleveland is going QB, and they are good with either guy. I prefer Cam Ward over Shedeur Sanders, but it doesn't appear that Ward is going to slip past number 1, and it doesn't appear based on all these rumors the Browns are going to go up to number 1. So that means Shedeur Sanders is your guy at number 2. So let's talk about Shedeur as a prospect a little bit more. Some pros and cons, right? Everyone likes a good pros and cons list. Pro, great accuracy. Set the college football record for completion percentage in his career at 71.8%. This past season at Colorado, he completed 74% of his passes. He's also really good at reading defenses, going through his progressions. He's smart with the football. Somewhat reminiscent of like Brock Purdy, a guy who had a lot of experience at Iowa State and gets to the NFL, and that experience pays off because he is smart with the football and he's accurate as well, despite not having a Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes type arm strength. Last pro for Shedeur, he's a tough player. Guy got sacked 99 times at Colorado. I don't remember him missing serious time. So with every hit, he got back up. He was not behind a all-pro caliber type of offensive line for the Buffaloes, and he took a beating, and he got up and made play after play after play. So some fair and very good pros for Shedeur's profile. But as you probably all know, I'm not a big fan of the Browns going with either quarterback, to be honest with you, at number 2. Some cons. Lacks arm strength. There's no elite arm talent here. There's nothing about Shedeur's tape that tells me here's someone who's rolling out of the pocket and can make an incredible throw across his body to the other sideline. In fact, one of the concerns I've seen is, while he is accurate, the downfield tight window accuracy, which that was kind of like Deshaun Watson's best trait coming out of Clemson, that's not really there with Shedeur because he's a little late to throw the ball. He holds on to the ball a lot for a very long time. And because of the lack of arm strength and just pure velocity on his passes, he's holding on to it for a while, and it doesn't have a ton of zip, and defenses are going to be all over this ball while it hangs up in the air since he's already held on to it for a second too long anyway, and now the safety can get in better position. So that's a concern. Also, he did not throw at the Shrine Bowl or at the Senior Bowl. He did not throw at the Combine, and there's just not a ton out there about his arm strength and accuracy down the field because 61.7% of his passes were either behind the line of scrimmage or from 0 to 9 yards. I'm talking just depth of the pass. Not like if you dump it off to your running back and he runs 40 yards. That's not a 40-yard pass in this. That's a 0-yard pass. So, for reference, Cam Ward was like 51%. Jackson Dart was 50%. So, a lot more sample size of downfield passing, which with Sanders visiting the Browns on Wednesday, I'm sure they want to test out that arm strength. And that leads me to this right here. His visit with Cleveland will be huge. Bo Nix was a player who did not throw the ball downfield much at all in Oregon. He was a bigger check down guy than Sanders was. And the Broncos were very adamant after they drafted him that when Nix came to visit and they tested him on his downfield passing, they were very confident. Plenty of college offenses and defenses are not designed around the player. No, it's a system, and they expect the player to fit the system. So with Sanders, maybe the system was just check it down, but there was a whole other side to him they never got to. And the Browns have to find out if that other side exists. If not, using a second overall pick on what kind of appears to be like a game manager at best is just irresponsible. There's a lot of reasons to and dislike Shedeur as a draft prospect, but to me, there's a lot of quarterbacks who had great completion percentage in college that didn't work out in the NFL. Colt McCoy, I think Zach Wilson was pretty accurate at BYU. At least high completion percentage, and a lot of that's because of the types of passes and routes they were throwing. And I don't think have enough evidence to really see the downfield work from him to believe like, here's a guy that can really make it work in the NFL where you're taking an incredibly impressive quarterback who can make all types of throws. That's why quarterbacks go in round 1, right? That's why Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Watson and Caleb Williams and so many other, Justin Herbert, so many other quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence went round 1 because they showcased they can make difficult downfield passes. I'm sure there are examples of it, but not a lot. And it would have been nice for Sanders to throw at the combine and show that he can make those downfield passes. So you can probably already guess where I'm going with this, but my answer is no. I'm passing on Shedeur Sanders at number 2. If Shedeur is successful in the NFL, it'll be a hand-up moment for me. And by successful, you know what I mean? Like a good starting quarterback for a long time for the team that drafts him. But everything about him screams could be good in the right system. Why should we believe the Browns are the right system? They don't have a running back. They're missing a left tackle. If they believe DeJuan Jones is that, hopefully he can lose some weight and not keep re-injuring his knee. Their offensive line is aging and declining. They've got Jerry Jeudy, who's really good. We don't really know what we have in Cedric Tillman exactly, but no, this does not seem like an offense where, like when Brock Purdy stepped into San Francisco, had Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Debo, Brandon Ayuk, and he was really good with those guys. And I think he could be good on his own as well, but not nearly as good without those players. I think the same is true for Shedeur. He could be good, but I don't think he'll be in Cleveland. And that sounds like a cop-out, but that's, I think, a fair answer. Let's pick a card to wrap up what's already been a very long episode. Which card do you want to go with, Mr. Barkus?
We just had a king. I'm going with Ace of Hearts.
Ace of Hearts? Give me 6 of clubs. 6 of clubs. I was thinking this because Shedeur is number 2, and I was like, I should probably go with number 2. It's 2 of Hearts. 2 of Hearts. Damn it. That will do it for us on today's episode. Thanks for watching and tuning in. Like and subscribe. You know all the cliches, and I'll see all of you tomorrow. I want to add Ninja Cow to the giveaway. 182 people watching. We're going to get into our mailbag next, so super chat or use hashtag Browns to get your question on screen. At the NFL Combine last week, I snagged these Browns table markers on the way out. I got 2 of them. I just want to give them to 2 viewers of the channel. So if you super chat, we guarantee you're a part of the raffle, which we'll do at the end of the live show. If you're unable to super chat, that's okay as well. Just be active in the comment section, and I'm picking people at random to be a part of our duck race. So that's what we got coming up if you want to have some Browns Combine memorabilia.
I am adding Jim Bullard.
Yeah. Hell yeah, Jim. Get on in there. Ooh, I want to add one more too. I want to add Pat Warland. He's been a longtime viewer on the channel. Do we have enough questions? I think we do. For the mailbag? I think I saw a bunch of questions come in earlier. I mean, George just got one in right now. Noah, when is it over? Because I have to leave soon. Noah, you can always come back. If you have to run, you can just watch the live after it's over. But this duck race probably won't be for another 20 minutes, I'd say. Sound about right to you? Yeah, 15 to 20 minutes. All right, here we go. Let's get into our mailbag. Let's not make you guys wait any longer. So we'll go to one of the questions, and then can we make the second question the super chat from Josh? Thank you. 86 likes. Thank you to everyone for liking the video, liking the stream. We are 5 days away from NFL free agency. And then from there, the sprint to the draft. And then from there, the desert. I have, not by accident, planned the wedding and the honeymoon completely around the NFL season. But I did try to pass it off as if it was her idea, and then I was like, oh, I think that could work. I was like, yeah, as if anything's going on in June. I will be missing some OTAs, I guess. But what can you do? July weddings are very hot in Atlanta. Are we ready to rumble? Here we go. Let's get into our mailbag. Mailbag time here at the Cleveland Browns Report. I'm answering questions that came in during our live show, which airs every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So tune in next Wednesday if you want to be a part of that mailbag. Also, make sure to like the video down below today and every time you tune into the channel to help support the channel. So let's get into our first question coming in from Matthew Kulpa. What do you think about Christian Kirk? Christian Kirk, I think, is a good slot wide receiver. I think he got into trouble in Jacksonville when they had to put him outside, and that's not really his bread and butter, plus all the injuries. I don't think the Browns should be looking to spend big, and not even big, spend medium in free agency at wide receiver. I'm not willing to roll the dice on Kirk. I think a contending team, it would make more sense, and if it doesn't work out, at least you tried. But for me, I'd much rather just see what you got in Cedric Tillman still, and then maybe look to the draft or cheaper options coming off a 3-win season. So I would say no, but I still think he could have some good games in football left in him elsewhere. Joshua Miller, what really surprised you about going to the Combine, and what disappointed you about, if anything? Great question, Josh. So I'll start with the surprising. I always knew this, but I guess I didn't give it enough credit. It's not quite a job fair, but it's a networking event where you'd think the primary attraction would be all the draft prospects, right? Not really. It's like a nocturnal event where during the day, people are kind of hungover from staying out till 4 a.m. the night before. The city of Indianapolis completely just rips up all of its drinking laws, and it turns into like a nightclub at steakhouses. So I knew that was the case. Did not give it enough credit, though, of, wow, everyone stays out till 4 a.m. We're up tomorrow morning at 7:30 because the first set of Combine interviews are at 8:30, and we're like the only ones here because everyone else is strolling in at 10 a.m. with sunglasses and coffee in their hand. So that surprised me because I knew it would be kind of like that, but not that much like that. And then disappointed. Disappointed is it's really not entertaining to go over to Lucas Oil and watch the actual Combine itself. I thought it'd be more fun, more interesting, more entertaining. You're sitting in a section, and they're just going from one drill to the next. It's kind of a made-for-TV event because the cameras can get up close on them, but you could be like, I was sitting, for example, at the 10-yard line in a corner of the end zone. All the drills were the opposite corner, and you can't go sit over there. They block off like half the seating. So you don't really take away a lot from it. It's hard to even know who's doing what drill at what time. There's a lot going on at the field. So I'd say actually watching the Combine itself, you could gather a lot more from it on TV or if you're at field level, which I was not. Josh, thank you for the super chat. George, as a Browns fan from the UK, I can't wait to see us in London. No to DK without a solid QB. No need to add another diva receiver to the locker room. Go Browns. George, I agree. I think the Browns could have interest in Metcalf. And by interest, I mean at least pick up the phone and call what the asking price is since they've traded for all their other wide receivers. And they do like acquiring young, talented players. But then again, who doesn't? But the Browns especially after that Jerry Jeudy trade. So this seems like it'd be kind of fitting that bill a little bit. But I agree that I don't think the timing is lining up. The Browns might feel like they are better than they really are. I don't believe they are. I think the 3 wins last year is an accurate reflection as to where you are right now. It's LeBron. Sam Darnold to the Browns. The Vikings did not franchise tag him. The sense I'm getting from Minnesota is they're ready to roll with J.J. McCarthy. And that Darnold has earned himself $40 million a season after his 2024 year. I don't think the Vikings want to pony up $40 million when they believe they've got maybe a better quarterback for way less in J.J. McCarthy, someone they took 10th overall just last April. So Darnold, I think, is going to have free agent options outside of Cleveland. I don't expect the Browns to give him $40 million. I'll give you two teams I think Darnold could end up with. Tennessee Titans and Las Vegas Raiders. I think Russell Wilson, though, will go to the Raiders, so I kind of want to put Darnold down for Tennessee, and then the Titans trade out of number 1 with the Giants, and they take Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter at number 3. But Darnold definitely had a really good season, and I never put him high up on my radar a few weeks or months ago because it just didn't seem likely that Minnesota would let him go. But as we inch closer and closer to free agency, it does not appear like a reunion is absolute. So I'll say no because I don't think the Browns should be paying $40 million for a quarterback right now because I don't think they're just a quarterback away anymore. So I'll say no. Laserbeam78, trade second-round pick for DK and sign Cousins, draft Abdul Carter, and Miles will stay. I wonder how an Abdul Carter draft pick would impact Garrett's decision. Like, would that help or hurt it? I don't think he'd be upset with them drafting someone at the same position of him, but there could be some level of paranoia that creeps in of, you just use the second overall pick on someone who plays my position? Is that a sign that you've already thought about replacing me in a few years as I approach 30 years old? I'm not giving up a second for DK. I'm not giving up pick 33. You have the first pick in round 2. You have the first pick in day 2 of the draft. That is not going to 27-year-old DK Metcalf who wants to make $25 million a season. Maybe even close to like 28, 29. No, thank you. Ghostface just read that the Browns are trying to go after Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders this draft since Shedeur Sanders' cap draft is slipping somewhat. What's your take on this happening and could it happen? I guess it could happen because I've heard it's more likely Sanders goes to round 2 than goes first overall. I don't think he's a top 10 player, but I don't think he'll get out of the top 10 because teams are very desperate for quarterbacks like the Raiders and the Jets. So that kind of feels like the backstop for him, but people thought Will Levis would go 4th or 5th overall, and he went round 2, so this stuff does happen. As for Travis Hunter, when the Browns said they view him as a wide receiver, I was like, ooh, are the Browns really about to use the second overall pick in a wide receiver who I don't even think is like one of the best wide receivers we've seen enter the draft recently? If he was in last year's draft class, if he was just a wide receiver, would he go before Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze? I don't think so. And I'm just talking about Hunter, the receiver. And the Browns view him as a wide receiver. They didn't really give a ton of ammunition to the idea of he could be a guy that goes both ways for us. So I think it'd be easier to play corner and then have specialty packages on offense. Play corner and you get 15 snaps on offense. And as the years go on, those snaps could go up because you have a better grasp of the playbook. To play offense and then go to defense, to me that seems too tough. If you're tired on defense, you're giving up a touchdown. If you're tired on offense, you just might be the guy that doesn't score a touchdown. Very different things. Before we get on to the rest of the questions, I do want to give a quick plug to this awesome hat over at Fanatics. That is 70% off. It's under $10 right now. Go to chatsports.com/CLE hat. I put this link in the comments and description of today's video. So if you're looking to up your Browns wardrobe a little bit, although right now may not feel like the best time, but still 70% savings, that's a hard deal to beat right there. So get yourself a brand new Browns hat for less than $10 by going to chatsports.com/CLE hat. This link is in the comments and description of today's video. Use our link to support us here at the Cleveland Browns Report. Matthew Harper, what do you think about waiting to draft Dart in the 2nd or 3rd round? Jackson Dart's, let's say, Jackson Dart's value, I guess the word I'm looking for right now, has gone up since the Combine. Stock's up. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. His stock has gone up since the combine. I thought he had a really strong performance and overall good week in Indianapolis between everything I heard from his meetings and then like the things we saw on the field and the testing and those things like that. So I'd be very much on board with Dart in round 3. I know that as we get closer to the draft, every single year, draft media just starts inevitably building up these quarterbacks. If the quarterbacks are perceived as interesting, people will have more interest in the draft. People thought Kenny Pickett was going to be, people thought Malik Willis could go first round. Mel Kiper, the godfather of mock drafts, I think had Malik Willis going 20th overall to the Steelers in his final mock. The mock draft experts and draft insiders, they have to harvest on this seasonal job. And that includes quarterback intrigue. So you asked me a few months ago, Jackson Dart round 2. I'm like, no. But all of a sudden, it's dramatically changed for a lot of people. I'm going to stick with a vast majority of my evaluation for all these prospects are made up from the college football season. Far too often, people start forgetting about the games they played, and their evaluation comes up of how were they at the combine. The combine is good for really 2 things, in my opinion. 2.5 things. 1, medical history. You get a doctor, check them all out, and you find out like guys like Abdul Carter have a stress fracture in their foot. 2, getting to know them as a person, meeting with them, learning what they're like and not just who they are as a player on your big board with a number and some stats below their name. And then the half is some measurements for specific positions. Some teams, for example, just will not draft an offensive tackle who has an arm length shorter than 33 inches. They just view it as a deal breaker. Some teams want taller corners, lengthier corners. Some teams won't draft running backs who run this slow of a 40-yard dash. So that's the half part right there. It's position dependent is specific and team specific as well. Matthew, thank you very much for your question, though. Hope I gave you a good answer. Kathy Sidlecki, what do you think we need more? Defense and offensive line? What do you think we need more? Defense and offensive line or a quarterback? I mean, ideally a quarterback, right? It'd be great if the Browns are picking 2nd overall and it was Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels and Drake May in this draft class, but it ain't. So let's not pretend like it is, okay? Let's just accept reality. It's a down quarterback class. I don't think it's as bad as 2022. Nothing's going to quite rival that one, but I think it's going to be closer to that than any other quarterback class. So I'd say quarterback, but this is not the year to fix your quarterback problems in the draft. It's a very good year to fix your defensive line and offensive line problems, though. There are some really good guys in the trenches. So I'd pick the first option, Kathy. YK Braden, what if we trade our Bills 3rd-round pick for DK Metcalf, draft Jackson Dart or Cam Ward, get Judkins or Trayvon Henderson, and get Chubb on a vet contract? Then we have a QB, Henderson or Judkins, Njoku, Judy, and the rookies. This seems like a very viable plan, YK. And I don't think it's a bad plan either. I think you're kind of glossing over get Cam Ward. It appears that he's going first, and if the rumors are true, the Browns aren't going to move up. So you're putting a lot of faith in Jackson Dart, who ran a Mickey Mouse offense at Ole Miss. He was never asked to go through progressions, and he's going to be tested in the NFL, and I think he might fail that test. YK Braden, thank you so much for your question, though. So, some super chats here as we wrap up our mailbag. James Harper with a $50 super chat. So, James, if you're watching right now, thank you so much for your support of the channel. And I agree. Chubb, apparently on the way out of Cleveland, really sucks. Dolphin with another $50 super chat. Joel Batonio is staying. So, finally, some good news. Yeah, Dolphin, kudo, ditto, and completely agree. It's nice to finally get a good piece of news on our phone. Jonathan Mann, go Browns, go Brownies. Jonathan, thank you for your super chat. And that's going to do it for us on our mailbag today. Let's pick a question to pick a card to wrap up today's mailbag. Which card do you want to go with, Mr. Bartkus?
Let's go 5 of hearts. No. I don't like it. I'm going to stay there. I'm going to stay at 5, but go with clubs.
Okay. I'm going to go with 7 of spade. What'd you say? 5 of spades.
No!
That
God!
sucks. 5 of spades. All right, that will do it for us again on today's mailbag. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see everyone tomorrow. Let's add YK Braden and Christopher Stofira to the. If you don't know, if you're just tuning in, when I was leaving the combine on Saturday, I snagged the Browns table markers. I got 2 of them, and I just want to mail them to 2 viewers to say thank you for supporting the channel and for watching our live content. So if you want to be added, super chat, and we'll add you to the raffle. Otherwise, I'm picking names out of the chat at random. YK Braden and Christopher Stofira. Did anyone say 5? Oh, Kathy said 5 of clubs as well. Darn.
We were so close, Kathy.
Mm-hmm. Are we ready to check out our... Oh, we have a super chat? I didn't even see that. I'm sorry. It's from James Harper. Who else? He's disappointed his shit got stolen. Yeah, I am. I did get my stuff stolen. I'm lucky in a way because my laptop was not stolen, and other people's laptops were stolen, so that would have really sucked. But I'm kind of a sentimental person. I wouldn't say I'm a hoarder, but I like my knickknacks, and I've had my backpack since freshman year of college, and I've kept some of my college stuff in the front compartment so that every once in a while I'm reminded about a college memory. You know what I mean? And those are all gone. So that really stunk. And I had my car keys in there, and it's been an absolute pain in the ass getting that resolved. It took 3 tow trucks to get my car out of the garage here in Dallas to the dealership to get new car keys. We had to put the car in neutral and push it down the ramp. And the car keys did not work yesterday. So I've got to go back again and do it all over again. And it's been a very expensive endeavor. So that's really sucked. But yeah, James, that's not entirely wrong. Okay, are we ready to... Yeah, let's do a duck race. Here we go. Here we go. 118 people tuned in right now for the most electric duck race you can find on YouTube.com. You know, I like watching Mr. Beast videos. He's got to do a duck race. Like thin the herd at some point. That'd be fun to watch. Raffle time, duckies. Get the ducks in the pond. Last call, if you want to get added to the duck race for these Browns combine table markers, super chat any amount and we'll throw you into the duck race. We're going to do 2 races because I have 2 of them. And I just asked the 2 winners to email me their address so I can mail you this, and you got a fun story. Let's add Dolphin X one more time, please. Quack, quack, sucker. We're going to add Dolphin X one more time. Done. Oh, you got to add Noah. Noah W. He's already in there once. There he is. Yep. Noah's got 2 duckies now. Anyone else want a super chat? A little 10-second timer right now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let's put the ducks in the pond. We'll do 2 races. You can't win twice if you have multiple duckies. Send the ducks in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They're off. And Noah, with the pink duck that he just acquired, jumps out to an early lead. Ghostface appears to be the pirate, pushing him in all the way out of first into second now.
I know nobody can hear the sound effects of
I
the
never
duck
heard
race.
the duck sound effects.
Oh, people are going crazy for the ducks.
Really? There's like a fan
crowd.
base? Oh, there's a crowd?
Yes. Oh, the peanut gallery is going crazy for the ducks right now.
halfway through the canal, and look at James Harper. He's got this purple mohawk duck. Now he's got this British, like, officer duck. Tie Man the Buckeye, looking like a real gentleman. Oh, man. Some of you ran out of gas. Can Tie Man hold on for 8 more seconds? Oh, no! Who's coming up the middle? Who is that? It's AFX! AFX, the winner! AFX. Now, AFX said if he won, he'd give it to Tie Man. So, AFX, I'm not going to pressure you into that, but just let me know either way what you want to do. But, AFX, congratulations. I love this from, like, Delit. What the fuck did I just come into? We're doing a duck race for Browns table markers that I took from the NFL Combine. AFX, it's your call. It was very kind of you to offer that initially, but if you're like, actually, I think it'd be kind of cool to have it in my room, no one's going to judge you. Yeah, remove winner. I'm going to give AFX just like 30 seconds. Ninja Cow, we just did the first race, and you could win the second one.
Dolphin, it says AFK because my fingers are fat.
Oh, it did say AFK.
I can't type very fast. Well, I can type fast. My fingers are fat.
All right, AFX, let me know what you want to do. Send the duckies. Race number 2 for the other Combine Cleveland Browns table marker.
I wish you could hear the thousands of people going crazy for the Ducks right now.
So I think if we learned anything from the past race, early lead is likely not a good thing. So sorry to Dolphin X and YK Braden. Yeah, it's a logjam. I mean, usually some duck has kind of pulled ahead at this point, but we're halfway through, and it's anyone's race right now. It looks like Jonathan Mann, Tie Man the Buckeye have a slight lead, but that's been evaporated already. Look at Kimberly Hurst right now. Quite the getup. I mean, just what an outfit to get in the pond with. George and Matthew Culpa also making some noise. 6 seconds left. George holding on. George! No, here's Dolphin X! Oh my God, the last moments! Dolphin X! Wow! Dolphin X, the witch duck, pulls it out at the last second. Unreal. So, Dolphin X, let me know if you would like, I assume, your Browns Combine table marker. My email, Reed, will it be at the bottom? Maybe, maybe not. If not, I'll put it in the chat. I'll just put it in the chat. Oh, fine. Make it at the bottom. Matthew@chatsports.com. It's a very simple email. It's my name, Matthew. There's only one way to spell Matthew with 2 T's. And @chatsports, which I think there are plenty of places you can look right now. You can see how chatsports is spelled. We never got confirmation from AFX, but I'll hold on to it because AFX is going to be here next live show. So I don't want him to miss out. So, yep, send it across. So, Dolphin X, please email me so I can send you your winnings. All right, that will do it for us on our live show today. Big thanks to everyone for tuning in and watching. Make sure to subscribe, which I'm sure all of you guys already are because you're great, incredible people. And I'll see everyone tomorrow with more Browns content.